Hello and welcome to Cataylze Music Academy. My name is Zaak Kerstetter, and today I have another Ableton quick tip for you. This time we're going to be talking about percussion, which is honestly something that I struggle with sometimes. Sometimes I overthink it and try to place every little percussive hit perfectly. So what we're going to do instead of trying to overthink it is we're going to make the computer do the work for us, and that way we can just generate some really quick, easy, cool sounding percussion. So to take a look at what we got going on here, I have a drum rack that is filled with just a bunch of different percussive sounds that sound like this, like that. You can use any kind of sounds you want. If you're making more kind of like glitchy style music, you can get really creative with this. Any regular percussive sound can also work. Tambourines, cowbells, all that kind of stuff. The main thing we're looking for with this is they want them to be really short in length, as well as fairly atonal. Like those don't have a lot of tonal quality to them. If they're too tonal, and it ends up distracting from the other parts of the song. So once I have that, I also have 14 out of my 16 slots on my drum rack filled. These two are very intentionally left open for reasons we'll see in just a moment. So to start randomizing this, we're going to go to our MIDI effects in our browser and grab the random device. This is going to take an incoming MIDI note and then output a random MIDI note. With the way it's set up right now, it'll output a MIDI note that is going to be higher in pitch than the one that I played. So right now, with the chance set to 0%, if I play MIDI note C1, it just plays my C1 note. But if I turn this up to, say, 50%, now each time I hit that C1 note, there's a 50% chance it'll play that C1 note, and a 50% chance it'll play one of these higher notes up here. So if I turn this up to, say, like 90%, now each time I hit this, it's pretty likely going to play another sound. Like that. On top of that, the choices is how far above the note that I'm playing that it will randomize to. So right now at 12, it's only going to play these bottom 12 notes. But if I turn this up to, say, 16, now if I hit this, it can not only hit these samples up here, but also can sometimes pick an empty slot, which will sometimes give me a little bit of silence, which if I'm making percussion and I want to have an interesting rhythm there, I actually want that. So I'm purposely leaving these open to create different rhythms. So on top of that, once I have that set up, in this case I've got about 88% chance random, choices of 16. I'm also going to add an arpeggiator right before the random device. And the arpeggiator is going to repeat any note that I play. So if I hold down that MIDI note C1, it's going to be repeating it at the rate that's set right here. So if I turn this up to, say, 16th notes, now I'm holding down one MIDI note, and it's just generating a bunch of percussion for me. Now the thing about randomness is that sometimes it sounds great and sometimes it sounds terrible. So in order to make it sound good, or in order to capture it sounding good, we're gonna have to record it to audio. So I'm gonna take this other audio track over here, and in the audio from, I'm gonna grab from resampling. This is gonna record all the audio coming out of my master. I'm going to record enable it. If I hold down the command key, I can record enable multiple tracks at the same time. I'm gonna hold down one MIDI note as I record on a clip slot over here. So it's just recording everything that I'm doing. And eventually it'll sound kind of cool. And sometimes it might take a few minutes. Sometimes it's really fast. So I kind of like bar 6. Bar 7 is also kind of cool. I think I'll let this go for quite a while. But for the sake of time, let's go ahead and take bar 6 and 7. And we'll go ahead and loop those. Which sounds a little crazy, it sounds a little chaotic, but if I layer this with a drum beat, it's going to add a little bit of cohesion, a little bit of context for it. Sounds pretty cool. And if I don't like that, I could always change it and maybe loop, say, bar 8 instead, or maybe halfway through bar 7 through halfway through bar 8. Now I have something that's rhythmic and repeating, and it sounds a little crazy and chaotic, but also works well with the drum beat that I have going on. So that's it. That's all you really need to do. Take a drum rack, load it up with a bunch of interesting sounding percussive sounds, toss a random device before it, adjust your chance and your choices, and add an arpeggiator. Play a single note, in this case C1, which is my lowest note, and then just let it record. And then once you find a recording that you like, just loop that and you're good to go. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. I have a lot more of these quick tips coming up. for you, as well as a bunch of other videos about different topics related to music production with Ableton Live. So again, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.